reality. Roman Abramovich and his billions transformed Chelsea. Marquee names were lured to West London in pursuit of major trophies, yet one prize eluded them. Until at last, and against all the odds, Chelsea were crowned champions of Europe. For many years, a solitary league championship in 1955 was the high point for Chelsea. It was a title that ensured eligibility for the inaugural European Cup, but the English FA viewed the competition as a distraction, and Chelsea were prohibited from taking part. Their quest for European football's biggest prize would last more than half a century. Moderately successful for several decades, in the 1990s, Chelsea were able to take advantage of the freer movement of players brought by the Bosman ruling. The growing reputation of the Premier League attracted many foreign stars to Stamford Bridge. Ruud Gullit, Roberto Di Matteo, Marcel Desailly, Gianluca Vialli and Gianfranco Zola would all play significant roles in Chelsea's burgeoning success. Managed by Gullit, the club won the FA Cup in 1997, with Di Matteo scoring after just 45 seconds. That victory began a golden age for the club. With Gianluca Vialli in charge, the Cup Winners' Cup, League Cup, FA Cup and the first Champions League appearance all followed.
They had been successful in the FA Cup and in the European Cup. But it was sort of a club with ambitions to grab the Premier League title, I felt. In the early stages, we struggled a little bit to mount that challenge.
In 2003, the club's fortunes changed forever. Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich purchased a controlling interest in the club from Ken Bates.
It was a bit surreal. It was... First and foremost, I was really surprised that Ken Bates sold Chelsea. And I think I was in Iceland when I heard the news that first thing that I was told is some Russian billionaires just bought Chelsea, and I went, okay, that's interesting. We'll see what happens now.
Abramovich had a plan, and its objective was big and bold, to make Chelsea one of the world's top teams.
It went fairly smoothly. Very, very kind man when we met him, very ambitious, very enthusiastic. Obviously demanded a lot of us as players and said that if we wanted to wear the Chelsea shirt, there's certain things that we would have to live up to, and that would be, you know, become a winning team.
His words were backed by actions. £100 million were spent on new talent, but manager Claudio Ranieri fell short of delivering the required success.
He had 4 seasons in charge. He did good things, but he just lacked that little bit, that edge to turn us into champions.
In June 2004, Abramovich brought the hottest property in world football to Stamford Bridge.
Why Chelsea? Chelsea because I'm reading a lot of things about it. How do you cope with the pressure? How do you cope with big players? How do you cope with the urgent ambition to start winning titles?
Jose Mourinho had just won the Champions League with Porto and brought with him defenders Paulo Ferreira and Ricardo Carvalho. Arjen Robben and Didier Drogba were drafted in to offer attacking menace. And the young Portuguese manager also impressed those already at the bridge.
He sat down when he walked into Chelsea and brought all his staff in, introduced them, and explained that he wanted to win, and was quite sort of adamant about it, really, in his way. Very simple. We were going to be winners now, and everyone bought into it straight away.
We were all a bit scared because you hear these stories and you read these things in the papers, and You know, we heard stories about everyone has to wear a suit, like a shirt and tie every day to training, and you can't be a second late, or you're sent home, and so there was the fear factor.
To succeed in this country, I have to adapt. I have to learn where I'm working. I have to understand the culture of the football country. I have to understand the culture of my players and my team, and adapt myself to that, and try to establish a philosophy and a team that can win in this country, can succeed in this specific country.
When he turned up, it was much more pleasant than that. Really nice guy, obviously a character, a lot of charisma.
When you go to another country, when you start from zero, even if you're a big player, you play with new players, a new club, a new country, and that the most important thing is that you have a coach who trusts you.
He's the one that brought me to the club, and I think not just me, but most of the players loved him. I think if you weren't playing, you didn't like him, but if you're playing, then you're going to love him.
I believe that the most difficult thing is to lead men, and to lead different men with different cultures, with different brains, with different qualities.
You need a strong manager, and we had this in Mourinho. It was really, really important that he could handle all these kind of players, and I think you could see this on the pitch. Everybody was doing his job and was playing for the team. That was important, but it was not easy sometimes.
Just try to be honest with them, fair with them, and be together all the time. Good moments, bad moments, try to be together all the time is something that happened naturally.
His personality was a huge thing for me, because his personality brought out the best in his players, and it brought the group together, and I think that was the magic that he has that maybe other people don't quite have.
The first trophy of the Mourinho revolution came with the defeat of Liverpool in the Carling Cup final.
That was an outstanding day, and I was so pleased. You see, I look pictures of me with that Carling Cup, and like you can see the joy in my face, And some people snigger a little bit at the Carling Cup now, but to me on that day, that was the Champions League, the World Cup, everything, an Oscar. It was everything you could possibly win. It was just amazing to be a Chelsea fan and player and then win something.
The final was sandwiched between two legs of a Champions League tie against Frank Rijkaard's Barcelona.
It was like we was playing an alien team. I'd never seen a team do that to us or to anyone. I'd never felt that power on a pitch. Like from Ronaldinho, Eto'o, they were just amazing. You think you're a good player, and then you go and play at the Nou Camp, and you think, whoa. So when they come to us the next week, we had Drogba, Robin, so people were thinking, writing us off, and we just started off like a house on fire.
And all of a sudden, before we knew it, we were 3-0 up at home with just under 20 minutes on the clock. And then we were obviously brought back down to earth with going in at half-time 3-2, and the tie turned on its head again, and we managed to go through in the second half.
After defeating Bayern Munich, Chelsea faced Liverpool in the semi-final. Luis Garcia's ghost goal would haunt Chelsea and Mourinho, and their European ambitions of 2 years later would also end at Anfield.
We lose a Champions League semi-final with a goal that was not a goal was also a magic moment. In the negative way, was also a magic moment.
Mourinho's first season, 2004-05, saw Chelsea lose just one league game, and the climax was historic. Chelsea were champions of England for the first time in 50 years.
To win the Premiership was magic for the club, and everybody that was in the club at that time was feeling that magic of being finally champion after 50 years was a fantastic moment.
Quality players all over the pitch. You had Lampard, who's unbelievable. You knew he was going to get you 20 goals. You knew he was going to get you important goals.
He will be spoken of as the best Chelsea player ever, I think. His motivation and drive is incredible. His goal-scoring record is phenomenal.
You had JT at the back. Arguably, he was at his absolute peak of his powers. He was just a magnet, wasn't he? Paulo Ferreira, Ida coming in, or Michael Essien. you know, Macca, you know, I love the geezer. He gave me the ball more than anyone ever in a career. Like, he found me when I didn't even know I was there. For me, he was the key for everything good that was happening at Chelsea.
Claude Makélélé had arrived from Real Madrid, and Chelsea thrived as he rewrote the handbook on defensive midfield play. Aptly, he scored the goal that sparked title celebrations.
I never get emotional on a football pitch but you know, when that final whistle went for the Charlton game at home, and it was just, you know, I just felt myself welling up a little bit. I had to sort of compose myself because it was such a, you know, you don't know when you're going to get emotional or things like that, and it was just 50 years.
To give the club that victory after so many years of going down into lower divisions and struggles was the most special probably moment of my career, certainly my club career, and I think my career in general, that first year of winning it, because of you could feel what it meant to so many people, and